All right, this is going to be a blues jam lesson. This is going to be what if you were playing some blues with some people and they just started like giving you a new key, like where do you go, how do you handle all that stuff, how do you play like a 12-bar blues in different keys and stuff. Okay, so let's say if we were going to be an A to start with. First thing is you'd want to know where is the A on the big string. Okay, so you got to know how to find your notes. So E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. So the rule here is that between E and F, it's only 1 fret. Between B and C, it's only 1 fret. All the others are 2 frets. So E, F, F sharp to G, G sharp, A sharp, B. Of course, any of these B to C is just 1. C sharp could also be called D flat, and D sharp can be called E flat. You know, all the sharps could be called flats depending on what key they're in. So if we were going to be in A, you'd want to know where's that A bass note. Now you can put in your minor pentatonic scale off that A. You want to know the other positions, like how to get up into that higher one. Maybe how to get below that first one. So you want to know how to get all around on those things. You also want to know like the other positions. Like I say, that's the first one. Here's the second one. Third one. Fourth. Fifth. And then you're back to first. Then you want to know the one behind here. Like I said, this would be your 5th position. And then this open, 03, 03, 02, 02, 1, 3, 03. Okay, so I'll have a tab with all those A minor pentatonics. Okay, so we want to know our A7 chord. We got that's like the big major chord. Pull that pinky out of there. You got an A7. That's our 1 chord, that's our beginning chord, home bass. Now our next chord, we could come down here and think of like a D major, get this D7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5. But you also have this shape here, 5, 4, 5, 3 in the middle strings there, starting on the A string. Okay, so you got that D7-9 chord there. That's like a funkier version of that 7 chord. Just has an extra note in it. It has the 9th note of the scale added to that. That happens to be that note there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we got A7, D7. We'll do the A7 twice. Back to D7. Do that 9 if you want. Back to the A. E7 is our turnaround. D7, A7, back to E7. So that's your 12-bar blues in A. Play your pentatonic scales over that. Okay, so let's look at some of the bends you can do in the A minor pentatonic. See, that's playing off that D, your 4 chord. This is your 1 chord note, 4 chord note, 5 chord note. So let's look at that. Here's where you can kind of, when you know you're on that A7 chord, you can play off of that major note of that 7 chord. And it's cool to know that that E right there, that's your turnaround, your very last chord of the progression. So you kind of finish with a sometimes. So stuff like that. So let's start from the turnaround. You could also do a little major one in there because that's part of that 7 chord too. So there's cool little tricks. You want to know your A7 arpeggio. So that's 5 and then 4/7 and 5/7, 6, then 5/8 and 5/9. And like I've said in other lessons, it's cool to slide into that major third. That's a major third right there. Here's your root. 1, 2, 3, as far as going up a major scale. So that's your major third. That's your minor third. When you slide into that, it creates a cool bluesy effect. There it is again. There it is again. Okay, so let's say, what if you were jamming with somebody and they said, let's play the key of C blues, but let's start on the 5 chord, so like where the turnaround starts. So first you want to find a C. Well, C is up here in the 8th fret. You know where your pentatonic scale is in there. You should know where your chord shapes are. All those different types of things. So if they wanted to start on the 5, it'd be like 2, 3, 4. And then you're off and running. And of course, if it's not a 12 bar, or if there's anything special about it, they got to kind of tell you, or you won't know. But just be listening for stuff too. There's the whole thing of, if in doubt, lay out. So if you don't know what's coming, or it's some kind of crazy break that they never told you about, then you might just kind of wait a second and see what happens after that. What if we wanted to do one in G? Key of G, blues, 2, 3, and. Seeing a pattern here? So what if we wanted to be in the key of A and we want to start on the 5, 2, 3, and. What if you wanted to do a little arpeggio riff off that? That'd be like your, think about your E7 and D7. Something like that, 2, 3, and. While we're doing that, let's look at the arpeggio for E7. That's where I got that riff. And of course for D7, it's the same thing, down 2 frets. Then I went back to that. And you can kind of add some notes from the pentatonic in there when you use those arpeggio scale type things, so that they don't sound too arpeggio-ish, you know. Like I added that note in there. You can put in little flat fifths and stuff. And remember where your kind of 5 chord turnaround is. All right, so let's say, what if we were in the key of E flat? Here's where you might start, instead of jumping way up high on one of these up here, you might find out where that E flat is here and do it on the A string bass note. So we're gonna use this one and this one, and this one is our 5 chord. So here's our A or E flat bass note. 2, 3, and your pentatonic scale would be on the 11th fret. That's B flat and A flat 7 and E flat 7. There's one of those 13s. So what that is it's like a B flat here, and then you mute the A string and have a 6, 7, and 8. It's kind of the reverse of a major shape there with that bass note. Okay, and that would be up in the 11th fret. And we know these bend notes in our first position. Those are kind of your best bending notes. When you get up to this higher position, you got that other one. So it's always good to know your first couple positions and be able to jump to any key and just start jamming the blues stuff and know where your bends are and all that. You can follow those chords really easily, have a lot of fun with that. All right, so thanks for watching Damon Wood Guitar Lessons. Glad you guys are digging this blues stuff. I'll keep it going. Talk to you soon. Thanks a lot.